Hi, I'm Hansen. I'm the CTO and founder of SiteSpect, and we put together this video to explain to information technology stakeholders a number of different topics about the SiteSpect technology and how it works and how it may fit into your infrastructure. Chances are that if you're watching this video, it's because someone in your organization is considering SiteSpect for A/B testing, for personalization, or for website recommendations. And you may be tasked with trying to figure out how SiteSpect will work with your traffic, how it will integrate into your site, and various other concerns or questions that you may have about how this is all going to fit together. So in this section, we're going to spend some time talking about security and privacy. So to begin with, SiteSpect has a security program which has been in place really since our founding, but very formally since 2009. SiteSpect has been PCI DSS compliant with every standard since 2009, currently on v3.1, and SiteSpect is classified as a data processor. We actually use an external auditing firm that comes in as an independent entity, and every year they audit us end to end for all of our different security practices, and we have been compliant each year since we've started doing this, again 10 years going through an external audit. In addition to PCI, we also have features and capability within our product that have been very specifically designed for our customers to retain any compliance they have to have with new privacy standards such as GDPR and the CCPA for California consumers. So GDPR, CCPA. You can go to our website. Publicly, you can find our PCI AOC, again certified by an external independent auditor. And you can also find in our privacy pages our entire set of business policies around GDPR and CCPA and how we comply directly with those, because of course we have customers end users that visit our website, but also how do we support our business customers, very likely the type of organization that you are as watching this video, as well as the end users of our business customers. Under the laws, an end user who wishes to have their data deleted, corrected, or just simply accessed can come to you if they are European, for example, European citizen. Under GDPR, they can make a request to your business, and you are required to comply, again, within the regulation to respond to their inquiry. Now, you either respond directly, or in some cases, for example, if you need data deleted, then you can simply forward either ad hoc or in batch information to us, and we will follow through, and within our policy, our privacy policy, we will handle that within the requirements of the law. Now, I said that there are things in our product that we do specifically to support these compliances. And the main one is that we have very specifically built the product to not store any PII, any personally identifiable information in the first place. So anything that might look like names or addresses or whatnot, it's just not possible to collect and store in SiteSpect. Even things that look like a social security number or an IP address or whatnot that may in certain circumstances be considered PII, we will not store those either. So really the main way that we make things easier for our customers around these two types of privacy regulations is we just don't store the PII in the first place. The fact that we are obviously handling traffic on the proxy, the request and the response, you should feel comfortable that the DSS, the data security standard that we comply with year after year, makes our infrastructure and our security program very robust and audited. In addition to the PCI, for SiteSpect Cloud, all of our providers, our facilities are also SOC compliant. From a data center standpoint, so that's another thing that will help out. And then the last thing I'd mention here is HIPAA. We do have numerous customers who are in the healthcare space and obviously have to comply with the U.S. HIPAA laws. And there's nothing that SiteSpect does fundamentally that undermines or somehow changes your HIPAA compliance. And because of that, we typically will sign BAA, Business Associate Agreements, with our healthcare customers just to stand shoulder to shoulder with you with the compliance then the regulations that you need to follow. So these are all standards that we have that should give you some confidence about working with SiteSpect. Virtually every customer that we onboard goes through some type of a security audit or assessment, and whether it's some or all of these, we will gladly engage with you on that. I'm happy to do so. When it comes to GDPR, the majority of our customers actually have a DPA, a data protection agreement, that they will provide that looks similar, if not identical, to the EU model contract. So that is also very standard for us. Again, we want to be shoulder to shoulder with you and make sure that we are supporting in every way possible your own security and privacy programs that you need to have. So SiteSpect itself, the SiteSpect technology has a number of security features that are available to you as a customer to use or configure. First thing I want to talk about is SSL. So SiteSpect as a proxy, obviously very commonly, if not the entirety of the traffic that we might handle for a customer is going to be over HTTPS. So we do require a SSL certificate within the SiteSpect layer, whether that is SiteSpect's private cloud, the SiteSpect cloud, or if you are deploying SiteSpect in a private single-tenant environment, you have the ability to deploy SSL certificates on the SiteSpect proxy nodes themselves. There is a permission level for users that have access to the SiteSpect control panel that allows them to manage SSL certificates. A common permission would or a common way to do that would be to grant only that permission to an individual end user. So when they log in, essentially all they can do is load certificates. They can't do anything else in the product. They can't see tests or run tests or whatnot. And the way SSL certificates are managed in the UI is they are load only. So once they are put into the UI, copy and paste the text of the keys, then they are loaded and they're not made available to view or extract from the UI again. So they essentially load only. We really urge customers to use this UI feature to do this themselves. We don't want certificates emailed to us or sent over to us in any other way so that we're not actually handling them. And in that way, it is all done by machine. They are stored in a secure manner, and no human other than your designated certificate manager really ever needs to touch them. So that's SSL. In addition to handling traffic at the proxy in a secure manner, there are also a number of security features for our control panel. So SiteSpect control panel has multi-factor authentication, right? So we use Google Authenticator, which gives you and your individual end users, or your individual business users rather, a variety of options for generating security tokens. So this is available out of the box. We also have a single sign-on option, which allows SiteSpect to simply use SAML, S-A-M-L, to get identity management from whatever your user data store is. So that is also available, and of course if you're doing that, that will be subject to whatever potential MFA mechanisms you're also using. There's also whitelist and blacklist available by IP. So that allows you to constrain who can log in to your environment, your SiteSpect environment. And separately from the control panel, whitelists and blacklists can also be configured for end user traffic. So as we talked about in the previous section, for CDN integration, it is possible to configure SiteSpect to only allow end user traffic from certain IPs or network blocks. And similarly, we publish the blocks of the SiteSpect cloud network to our customers so that if they wish to whitelist or blacklist at their origin or at their CDN edge, then they can do that as well and only allow traffic from discrete known end users or devices, including SiteSpect. So this is also available for you. And finally, I would say that the admin API, which is also documented alongside our engine API at developers.sitespect.com, allows you to manage many of these different configurations. So for organizations that use automation layers and configuration management, we tried to make that as streamlined as possible to simply fit within your paradigm, again, using a very standard REST API that allows you to manage and manipulate how the SiteSpect environment itself is set up. Depending on the permission levels granted to the API key for the admin API, of course, you can also create experiments and campaigns. You can load or extract data from your tests and so on. So we tried to make this as friendly as possible to the ecosystem of other tools or technologies that you may already be using or may be using in the future, so that everything can play nicely together. So I hope you've gotten value out of this series of videos. I'm very happy to have any kind of conversation directly or answer any questions, follow-up questions that you may have. You can email me directly, ehansen, that's EHANSEN, @sitespect.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.